So first, apologize for the late. I'm sure you know the reasons. Because actually, when the Q&A finishes, it's almost 7 o'clock already. So then, and I just happened to take a shower and then come here. So dukkha. Okay. Everybody think, sitting here is a very good thing, I never think so. So, and it's always be very nice, like my teacher actually, the one who taught me to become a monk. So he always reminded me, he said, lots of people want to be a teacher, but they don't know actually how lucky they can be a student, And when you're a student, you can talk anything, criticize anybody, and whatever you like to say, and nobody will say you're wrong. And when you're a teacher, you have a great responsibility. When you say something, you have to be very careful. And then you have to be very careful to everyone. If you one day, you might by mistake, you have make somebody not happy, they hate you the whole life, right? And I mean, you might not believe it is true. Anyway, now this is the last talk, and certainly usually last talk is my happiest day, and I hope that I have much more spirit. But anyway, the last talk, I think there were a few of the things we need to say. Firstly, maybe let me just begin with what I was planning to do, actually a few days ago, but it might be good to sum up in the last talk too. So we are coming here to do meditations, and I also try to explain what does a meditation mean. It is not something you're coming here, you want to gain power, and of course it might give you this kind of beneficial. But for right Buddhist teachings, we're not going to tell you about those things. Oh, you come to meditate, so your health is getting better, and then you have supernatural power, and then you are the more advanced people than other people now, and maybe even some tradition will try to emphasize, oh, how lucky you met a teacher, so now you are. It's so difficult that you have this sort of chance. Yeah, it's okay, I don't know. But the important, I think, in Buddhism, actually, the practice Buddhism is very actually important. I mentioned last time, there are a few things actually you can fulfill as a religious duty. When I say religious here, some people might don't like to use the term religious because they have a different understanding of the term religion. Not different. Buddhism sounds very strange to them, but I'm saying so maybe the religious here can refer to as a spirituality. Okay, somebody if they want to develop their mind, and maybe they were just concerned about the present life, they don't have to concern about the afterlife. But like yesterday talk, I did mention so what it is method for even afterlife. I don't have to repeat it again, and then also what is important for your present life. Okay. So, and then the practice, of course, in religions, in Buddhism now, since we are here, we only talk about Buddhism. So the practice in Buddhism, of course, we are not talking about the qi, right? And I'm not here to deny that other people practice anything, but I just want to say what is Buddhism thing, okay? So we don't talk about the qi. If you really want to meditate on the physical body, we are not only just talk about meditate on the qi, but we will ask you to meditate on the breath, and then also the wind element, and also the earth element, and then this fire element, and then the water elements. For some people here, they might have learned that before. They know what I'm talking about. But I'm saying here, even though even if we are teaching this method, we are not also going to tell you, oh, you become a very healthy, and so and so. Because ultimately, the Buddhism almost always want to remind you, one day you all have to be died. Okay, one day. Actually, this is actually become one of the very powerful meditation at home. If one day, if you find, when I go back home, I don't have the courage to practice anymore, and I just feel like I'm fine, I have a happy life, I'm enjoying my life, that's okay, right? As a Buddha, as a Buddhism is always as a very understandable religion. So it's all right if you just want to get on your life, you don't want to keep on practice. And, but in case, I'm talking about in case. So you say, no, actually I hope that there was some way to help me that I will keep on practice. What do you have to do? And yesterday we talked about in this practice, you have so many benefits, right? And today, think about this. What's the best way that if there's really that those things will benefit you, even when you are facing death? Or even somebody not necessarily facing death in their life, they face a lot of adversities. They bound to meet people they don't like. They work with the people they don't like. And then or because of the family, you have no way to change them, but they always hassle you, or maybe because of a friend always hassle you. Okay, that's one thing. And the other thing is that our mind always like a monkey, jumping here, jumping there. Sometimes it's nice to be like a monkey mind, I guess. Just like a monkey. It's nice to see they're jumping. But in quite a lot of time, if you're observing the monkey mind, like you're observing the monkey jumping, that's fine. But the problem is if you don't know your mind is like a monkey, and you thought that you are very great, and then actually you are still infested, right? Infested with the defilements, infested with the worries, and infested with a lot of problems. The worst thing is not that you have problem, actually, I guess. This is how I always look at the human relationship. The worst thing, if you have problem, that's fine. You keep yourself, lock yourself in the door. You say, don't disturb me, I have problem now, okay? That's fine. But the worst thing is that when you have problem, you don't know how to do it, how to deal with it, and actually you never know how to do that, maybe, and then you're trying to find the other person as your victim, okay? Right? So, and when you get angry, if you call to somebody, say, I'm angry now, do you think we can talk? Everybody will really to hear if they're a nice person, right? But if you get angry, you just yell at the people, then that's a different thing. So we could be one of the people doing the same way. So if that happens, and then the other persons get the same way, get angry already, and if he wanted to influence the other, because he doesn't know how to release it. He doesn't know how to release it. And he thinks he's great, so he doesn't know how to release it. He wants to disturb the people. He wants to see more people get angry, just like him. So then they might feel a little comfort by seeing that. Okay, but the worst thing is not, even so, maybe some people think, look, when I get angry, I can try to make the different way, make other people angry. And afterward, and then make the other people angry, So I feel better. So some people think that. Yeah, actually it does work sometimes. That's the reason why people had wrong view. And they thought, my problem stopped. No. If that's really stopped, according to Buddhist teaching, if that's really stopped, then maybe you should do so. Because when you get angry, you make other people angry, make many people angry, it will stop your angry and it stop your problem. Perhaps that's the way. That's what Buddhism says. That's the Dharma. This is the teaching. This is the Dharma. This is the truth. But I'm sure some people, if they fool themselves, of course, that's how they believe it. If anyone, they have the wisdom, they check their mind. No. On the contrary, they develop attachment. And this attachment makes them to become worse and worse. Because they can see, oh, look, when I'm angry, I make other people angry, and the other people make the other people angry. I can be so powerful. And then look at me, and actually, what a nice thing, right? So the attachment comes. And then this problem comes especially when people, they think they have power. And this is how the evil thing comes in the world. Because they never know, no, that's not the case. And in other words, this is also telling you how anger is come along. Also, the anger is come along is because of your attachment. Okay, even though the anger in this world, not in the heavens, but depend on what kind of heavens. And according to Buddhism, in this world and in the desire room means in the heavens, I just mentioned yesterday, there are 6 levels of heavens. And in the heavens there, they have female, male body, they still have anger. So sometimes don't mesh with those gods, those divine beings, according to Buddhism, they get angry also. So like in the human world, when you have a power, when you get angry, you may become much more destructive. Okay, and it's interesting also, actually, anger is the one that for us much easier to detect. Buddhism always talk about the hatred, that means angry, the hatred and anger, the hatred, the delusion, and then the attachment. That's the 3 fundamental roots. And add one more is your pride, the pride. In Chinese called 慢心. Okay, so it's your pride. So there are 4 fundamental roots here. But in this 4 fundamental roots, actually the most easier one someone can be would be able to aware it is anger. And this is the reason why the Buddha constantly also reminds us that we need to have this loving kindness mind, compassion mind. Even though you don't know what is joy, meditation, what is equanimity, but at least you always have to remind yourself that try to develop this loving kindness and compassionate mind. Because only when you have this loving kindness and compassionate mind, you can start to see that how this anger can be so destructive to other persons now. And to yourself, is a way also destruct you. Maybe you don't agree, but one thing for sure, if you really check and see again, so it become attachment. And then whenever there's a way, you just use the same way to go to treat other people unfairly. Okay. So that's one of the very fundamental problem actually being a human according to Buddhism. Okay. Now, that is we know that what about the other person? That means you. If somebody treat you the same way. Now, we just say that some people might not understand, they have a delusion, and they thought that's a way to protect themselves. But the worst thing, of course, they are not just protect themselves, they really bully the other. Okay? Right? And they think that they are right, they are good. So, I mean, people make mistakes, as I say, but then if they keep on doing it. So, now, how about other people if they bully you then? So people, they show their anger to you. They show all this way all the time. Now, this is one of the other reasons, not that we can stop ourselves, try not to be too much anger or try to be at least understand your anger. But you also actually you learn a way, become immune yourself from the other angers also. When the people have the anger towards you, you can establish a compassion to them. It's not very easy, okay? Or you can establish a loving kindness to them. But of course you never establish the joys to them, okay? Right. Now, I need to also mention, sorry. Let me finish a sentence. I have a problem, always cannot finish a sentence. Yeah. Let me finish the sentence. The sentence is that do try to, because my mind runs so fast sometimes, it's do try to know that when you learn this method, so it is also not only that you will be controlling your emotions, especially your anger, but you also actually become much more immune immune from people when they're angry. Okay. Do you think it's important? I don't know. When I was young, I don't think it's important. But when I'm getting older and older, I think it's very important. And actually, sometimes when I think about the past, when I was younger, I sometimes kind of like, I'm good enough, I think. Still, there's something I could be better, but I didn't do it, If you ask me what's the reason, the main reason is because of anger. Because I don't know how to release this kind of anger in the mind. So I could sometimes easily show disparage to other person. And because also the main thing is I want to avoid the problem. So then I would be not very, I'm not going to approach persons and tell them, oh, I'm sorry. Or maybe even approach a person, you don't have to say sorry, but it's just a way to show, I want to change. I want to make up the thing better. Rather than, trying to be just anger and anger. Okay. So this is, that's what I think the main thing for the meditation, okay. If the people say, I need to repeat this again. If the people say, I'm powerful in meditation, but he's a horrible person, so, is that important? Oh, I heard these people have this first jhana, second jhana, all jhana, this jhana, that jhana, this jhana, whatever jhana they have. But when they have become a horrible person, no nice word, no kind word, no compassion to people. Do you think this is a practice? And always thinking they are the best, the other people are not. There are many. Not be surprised. It's just like doing a business. It's attachment there. So my product is the best, the other product is not. But in America, we always see enough of advertisement already, So you be a judge. But I'm sure that after you practice this, you can able actually to see much more clear now, the pictures. And this kind of pictures is not like a study. I mean, in tradition, the Buddhism, they'll study what kind of people is called good people, what kind of people called bad people. No, you know it. Let me also, suddenly something in my mind. One of the very famous sutta called Kalama Sutta, right? I don't know, any one of you know. The story generally is very simple. It's just like, there's a group of people living close to the forest, and then in India, and that forest is normally people like to go there for stay to do meditation practice. Whenever they leave the practice place, they come out. Of course, they will announce to people what they discover the truth is about. That's an old tradition. Unfortunately, this thing now that much now. Because now everybody rely on the book, right? In those days, people really go to practice and come out, they will tell you, and the practice, what I discover, But there's a problem of that, then this group of people called Kalamas, and then they didn't, because every teacher came out and they say, my discovery is the only one, the other is wrong. My discovery is the only one, the other is wrong. So then these people get confused, right? They think everyone go inside the forest supposed to be practice good, but when they come up, they say that. How do I know? Is there no way to judge? Is there no way to know what is good, what is not good? Do they say the right thing? Everyone say that they are good, but then they went to see the Buddha. Make the story short. When you see the Buddha, of course, everyone have different attitude towards the Buddha. But from the text it's very clear. Someone will stand there, some just pay the respect, some sit far away. Those actions to show some suspicious about the Buddha. He might be the same guy. We say the same thing. And some pay the respect because whatever reason, they really know Buddha must be the good one. Anyway, so and then they ask the same question. They ask the question to the Buddha. And then the Buddha replied, it is certainly, no doubt that you will have this kind of question. I mean, because if there are so many people come up and tell you, my way is right, the other is not. My way is right, the other is not. So you get confused. So how you should do that? Then this is the technique also he mentioned, actually. Firstly, he say, a person, must be able to judge what is good, what is bad. I don't know how many people are thinking about this. I mean, to judge what is good, what is bad is not judge the other, judge yourself. When I'm angry, is it good or not? When I hate somebody, want to hold that idea, is good or not? When I find that I'm not clear, I drowsy all the time, is it good or not? When I am, really, never satisfied, I like this again, I like that, and I like this and like that, and sometimes because I like many things, and you want to hurt the other, is it good or not? It's not to judge the other. So you have to be able to discern what is good and bad. That's what the Buddha is saying. I believe that people come here to do meditation, most of you, they understand that's important. The mind sometimes not necessarily is always stable. The mind not necessarily sometimes is good. Am I right? If all of you think you are the good and you have the best method, you have the best thing already, why you are here? I don't get it. And if you're here, you must be the foolish person in the world, I would say. Right? You're here because you want to see what it is. Can I learn something from there? And must be clear, you know your mind, there's something is not satisfied, right? If you're satisfied, you're like a Buddha, you will sit there. And of course, if you're Buddha, I don't think I will teach you also. I'm so afraid. It's no way, right? And compared to Buddha, it's just a tiny bit, right? There's no way. But now, then that's what the Buddha said clearly in Kalama, because you know your mind already. At least you can discern what is good and what is bad. What's happening? Do I have anger? Do I have a hatred? Do I have a clother? There are so many different levels of hatred. Do I have attachment? Do I have delusion? Do I have proud? Do I have self-pity? And all this. Yeah, you somehow know there's something that's not satisfied. So then the Buddha, even in the text, after that, he say only after the people, they recognize that, and then they should do the loving kindness meditation, they should do the compassion meditation. Look at the text if you remember. And they should do this joy meditation, and they should do the equanimity meditation. So, and then now, what is the next? You see, I'm sure, this is how I look at it. For people who really have learned this, no matter you learn this method, whether you can learn it really, I don't know what do you mean you expect, how do you expect, whether that your practice live up with your expectation or not, but at least you learn it. I'm sure that when you learn it, you started to become a person can see what is more important in the life clearly, right? I just only saw 2 persons nod head. All of you are very good in equanimity meditation. It's all right. I will be just, I can make self-amusement, joy meditation. Okay. Now, okay, and once you can discern, you definitely know where you should go. It means what you should go further. Because you started to know the physical body. It is important to practice. If I'm alive, if I'm healthy, I have such a good opportunity, I should keep on practice. And then you will go on practicing. Why? Because you feel joy to yourself, right? And then you start to love yourself more. Actually, sometimes you love yourself because you more understand you are not that perfect also, right? So that you love yourself more. You accept yourself that it's not perfect. But of course, you're still going, work on it, become better and better. And then when you have developed this kind of mind, love yourself, understand you're not that perfect, actually you become also much easier to associate with other person. Why? Because you understand people are not perfect too, just like you, right? So you become much more forgiving the other persons. Maybe you're angry right now, but next day, fine, You don't want to hold on that, don't want to carry that. If you carry it, you just have a burden, you suffer, right? Then you learn, no, I don't want to carry it. Now, this is you learn. And certainly, because of that also, you are not going to inflict your suffering to others. Because especially, these people, not especially, actually you don't want to do that, especially when you have compassion, because you don't want people carry this suffering. And then what happens? When you inflict to other and the other get anger, especially if the people never learn this kind of method, what happens? They might be inflicted suffering to other and the other and the other. Look at our environment. And then everybody will be just angry to each other. Right? So for the people who are working, they know very well. Sometimes your boss come in the door, not very happy. Right? And then you must have also know the etiquette also. So maybe your boss is very nice, normally, freely, and he's coming but not very happy, but you're sitting like a Buddha. Okay. What do your boss think? Oh, Buddha, Buddha. I'm sure not, I have to say, if he's very angry. Okay, no. So on the contrary, this is called compassion, right? You must have the compassion. So you just don't do a meditation. Say the Buddha doesn't know the meditation, even he knows the meditation, just don't. And you just go to, maybe just, do you need a water? Maybe he show, no, I don't need it. Yeah, I just keep it here, fine. But that a little act, actually. So it's a way to let the boss, somebody, understand there's a kindness there, right? If he doesn't even understand, that's fine. You've done your job. But it might be he understood. So, and then he will be kind of like relieved a little bit. Because actually most of the time, I think, most of the time, not all, lots of the time people get angry is because they thought nobody understands them. So that's a way actually to say, yeah, I know you are not happy. So, but of course, you have to treat it in almost like walking on the ice tip, right? On the thin ice, walking on the thin ice, almost like that. So that's a compassion. So please also do not practice only loving kindness. And then it just want to develop your proud, unless the people understand you. So I just said last time already, and I also said that it's not etiquette. Etiquette is not even good enough if you, like people are coming have a meeting. I said that already last time. So and then actually the people come in meeting. Of course, if nobody see you and then you just do it, fine. But you don't just go early and sit there like a Greek Buddha and people come in feel like, are you going to tell me I don't meditate now? Right? No. You rather show you don't meditate. What's the harm? No harm. Because your compassion counts the most. So you don't want to disturb people. Are you going to? So that's why I tell people usually, even here, please don't just learn meditation and then next time you go other place. I mean, in the train, in the subway, that's fine. Nobody care each other. That's okay. You know what I mean by gathering? Like, then you go to other place, like, unless that's a place people know you're doing meditation. You don't just like, maybe say you come to help the kitchen and before you're waiting the job, you might be doing meditation. Here, actually, people understand. It's okay. But say that if you go other places and then you just, sit in that or there, and you knew very well people might only see you find very awkward, Yeah, you can do your meditation. You don't have to cross your leg. What you just sit like normal, like you sleep. Sometimes maybe better you pretend you sleep. Then you show that you are really meditating. You know what I'm saying? If people ask you, what are you doing? Oh, I just sleep, No, I might be just like sleeping. Then you're not lying, okay? That's one thing. All right. Besides this, also, when you go back home, now we have wonderful time, 7 days here, suffering, Suffering is in a way. But this is why called practice as a tapas, in the original language. Sometimes we also actually call it tapas. Also, it's because tapas refer to people are almost like doing something not normal people can do. If you tell them, when you come here, you have to sit there for a long time, and then walking, meditation, no, everybody was so fear about that, right? Actually, this time, we have many people register for meditation, but some people didn't turn up, Supposedly, we have almost 100 people register for meditation retreat. But still, the turn up is very good. But I kind of surprised. I thought maybe people just don't like to come here anymore because it's very hard work. Wake up very early morning, especially you're not used to. But actually, you do have a good early sleep. But then some people, they don't want to, and that's your problem. It's not really the schedule problem, okay? Let me tell you first. Because actually the schedule is always good for your health and good for your mental. But, if you develop that kind of habit, no, this is not my business to talk, but you'll be your own judge. So, but then you're suffering here, but you learn something, and then I think it's very special if you're a first timer to come to do this meditation, if you're really working on it, I'm sure that this will become invaluable experience to you. I don't think you will ever forget, put it this way. Do you? I don't think you'll ever forget, yeah. So, and then I'm sure that some of you expressed that already. So if you could learn it earlier, it will be much better for your life. Am I right? Just only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now 5 people, okay. I said that already. To me, it's true. To me, it's true. And that's the reason why I decide, when I say design, I mean I arrange a little different the steps, in order to make you feel comfortable with your practice too. Okay. Now, but when you go back home, it becomes a different scenario, okay? The environment is different, and no group meditation, because at least here, when you hear the gong, you wake up. You think that sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't like it, tell you the truth. I say, can I sleep longer? No. And I just wake up, and but if you ask me, is it good for me? Good for me. It's not easy. Our bad habit is so many. It's not easy. Okay. So at least this is one way to learn that we do have a lot of bad habit in our so-called daily life, right? But actually, you can have a better, go to bed early, wake up early. Because if you want to, if you are busy, you can wake up early to work. But why you want to stay so late? You don't have to go to party every night, right? So you don't work in a nightclub every night. I don't know. So far, I don't know that anyone here work in a nightclub. If you work in a nightclub, maybe you just change your timetable. But anyway, so when you go back home, you have faced many problems. Time is a problem. And then stress is a problem, and then immediately you will see some problem also. Where did you go for so long? Did you miss me? I did miss you. I do meditation to you all the time. That's it? You didn't cry for me? I did cry, but you didn't want to say, I cried because I saw your problem. Yeah, I did cry. I feel sorry for you now. Please don't say that. You say, yeah, I did miss you, I did cry for you, and I always think about you. Anyway, so, I also certainly understand, actually, like my student, once he went back to Taiwan to do meditation, because he was helping me quite a long time, and suddenly he's not there. I just feel like a little strange, right, So, and usually my students are very good. He's the one almost like alarm clock, He will lock my door, wake up, time's up, something like that. No, if there's something to do. So, and then now I don't have an alarm clock, so I need to adjust my iPad, I don't know how to use that. I had to look at how to do this alarm in the iPad, actually. I never use it, the alarm clock there. So, anyway. So, but then, yeah, but it's just only 1 day or 2 days. Just 1 day actually I'm fine because I think I'm so free now, you see. And, but anyway, I can understand that kind of sort of that feeling. So you do face many problems maybe when you go back, and also with your work, your stress, your time, and all these, many chores to do. Not like here, you don't have to do anything, just eating, sleeping. Yeah, you do have some working meditation. Maybe some people complain about that too. Too much work for me already. But, that's it. But, but you do face problem, but you bound to face problem. And then you bound to feel like, now, please don't have the fantasy. Now you are like a Superman, okay? And then you go back, whatever comes to you, you can break them through, you're fine. No. You have to back to the, sometimes we say in English called reality. I hesitate to use the word, I think I like to say that you're back to the illusion work, okay? The illusion work. So you're back to this illusion world, and then and then all these illusion world, you're almost like you're on a stage again, right? On a stage, we have a word to say. Then you start to play your role, right? As a role of mother, as a role of father, as a role of brother, as a role of sister, and as a role of employee, as a role of employer. Anyway, as a role of many things, and you change your role all the time in different time. Here, you don't have much role. You just have one role. Meditator, just do meditation. Right? But when you go back, you have to change so many roles. And that adapt yourself to the many roles, it's not easy. With that, changing all these roles, all the stress, all the time you don't have, and then you started to begin acting. So what you have to do, if you can, if you always have the mindfulness, that's very important. When you will see the people, try to meditate a little bit. If you forget, you forget. If you remember, you're in the subway, you're anywhere, just you saw the person, don't look at him, okay? Too much. People think you're mad, okay? And just make the people be very unhappy. And sometimes, if you don't want to sound rude, you can open the eye to meditate, okay? But not like this. But naturally, like, you talk to a people, you can still meditate either compassion, loving kindness, equanimity, or joy meditation. Okay, you can do that. If you can do it when you close your eye, of course you can do it when you open your eyes. Because when you close your eye, you need much more effort and focus to be focused so that the image will appear. When you open your eyes, the image is there. You don't. But you just have to remember to let your mind have this kind of full, beautiful mind continuously. Okay. You might be saying, no, very difficult. It's not possible. No. Think it otherwise. Can you look at the people thinking, what the heck of this person sitting here? Why does he dress like that? What a horrible hairstyle. Right? If you can think that and you talk actually, hey, how you doing? So look at his teeth, different. Right? You do actually. So if you can talk and then still have the mind, either compassionate, and then why? Actually, you are still practicing. 1 people, 2 people. And then not only that, you do find you become also your mind stable and also energetic, alert, most important. Your mind become alert. So that's why we say, according to either the Buddhist teaching or even the normal famous kind of words, if you want, there's nothing you cannot do, right? So remember this. That's the one way of practice. But then maybe a second question. So should I just also find my time to do meditation? Yes, of course. Today there's a person asked me, how long I should do meditation? Usually I say, whatever, however much you like to. But today I don't know why I become very truthfully. No, I usually truthful, but I just sometimes prefer not to keep quiet. Sometimes I say it. So and then this time I say you have to meditate 1 hour. You know, if you can meditate 1 hour in the morning or meditate 1 hour in the evening, because my understanding, if you meditate 1 hour, at least you maintain what you're doing. But if you can meditate more than that, you might can improve your meditation, right? If you do less than that, so you just go down a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, okay? And yeah, try to do that when you close your eye too, because yeah. But then, very important, as I say, when you close your eyes, can you meditate better or not? Is also much to do with in your daily life how you apply this technique also. If you can apply it while you're talking to people, while you're sitting with the people, whenever you have free time, when you're facing the computer, right? You type a computer, may the computer be well and happy. No, you don't. No, that's not the way. Okay. When you type a computer, you just have to be mindful with your fingers and your actions, just like what you're doing your walking meditation. When you feel your mind was not focusing on the screen, and you know that you're not focusing, and then you sit back on the screen. But there are so many things about computer I need to tell you too. Just say a few words, like, you know, don't look at the computer for a long time, you know, and you know that they say that maybe more than 45 minutes at least. Or you will say that 1 hour, then you need really like, you know, stand up, you know. So you can do your meditation and shut the computer off. And maybe you can utilize the good thing about computer, and then you can put the nice pictures there, and you look at it, and then you just close your eyes, and you can meditate also, right? If you find the pictures you want to change, and you change picture. So actually my computer is like this. Every 1 minute I have one picture, another picture, another picture, so. The reason is not that I have to visualize this picture. It's just like kind of like meditation. You just shift the pictures, especially when you're busy. Because when you're busy, it's much harder to keep one picture longer. But you can actually still keep your mind going, but the picture's shifting. You know what I'm saying, right? Now that's one thing I need to warn you and to be prepared. Okay. So when you go back home, you will face those problems. But do remember the greatest problem you face, if you can overcome it, you establish much better in your virtue. Okay? You become much better in your virtue, because then, if in Buddhism say if the people cut your hand, that's a little extreme, radical though. If the people use a sword to cut your hand, you still have a loving kindness to them. No, according to Buddhism, the Arahant is like that. You know, in the history, when the Muslim invaded India at that time, when they were killing the monk, those Arahants, they just sit there, let them to kill. There's no fighting in the history. So, but not for the other who are not Arahant yet. So, but that is a morality in Buddhism, that if you can do that, you are the greatest sage, you know. That even people, you know, cutting your hand, you still have a loving kindness to them. But I'm not asking you to do that. You're able to do that. And please never try to test the other, okay? And long ago, in Thailand, there was a monk who was very famous. I don't want to mention the name now, anyway, because later on there's a little controversial, but anyway. So he was very famous. Actually, funny enough, I did translate his book into Chinese, but so I didn't want to tell you. It was long ago. And that was actually my first translation book from that. He was very famous for his loving kindness meditation. According said that he was so powerful because one of my monk brother, after he left Sri Lanka, because we were together at first, and he was follow him. So, and then he told me how great he was. And he said that, of course, he had so many, like a supernatural power of this thing. I'm never interested in that, but he's my now he disrupted already, but the only monk brother in those days, he was really, you know, like crazy about that. Always talk about this, always. Anyway, now the funny part is, according to his saying, So they say that his loving kindness is so powerful that nobody can harm him. I don't know how far the story is true, okay? Really, in Thailand, but according to his version, okay, if it's true, and there are people, the soldier, not a soldier, actually is quite a high rank army, what do you call it, like not a general like that, lieutenant, something like that. The officer, yeah, the officer really shoot him. I don't know if it's true or not, the story said that when that comes in and then nothing hurt. I don't know how far it's true, but please don't shoot me, okay? And that's the reason why I said it's so dangerous when people sometimes, when they advocate, the powerful of that, so that it's so powerful. Because according to Buddhist text, it did say that, if you are really, loving kindness is so strong, right? They have 11 benefits. And one of the benefits is that if the people poison you, and then you will not be poisoned. And people, if the arrow to shoot you, it will not shoot you. So, and I usually don't talk that. I never. I've been teaching this for many years already, a few years, right? I never talk about this benefit because I don't want some people have a misunderstanding. Even the Buddhist text say so, and then, oh, you see, I want to test whether he's really powerful in his meditation, in loving kindness. Let me poison him and see. There are people who are very funny in the world. It's really what kind of person you have. You do have this kind of person. Okay. Last few things I need to mention. But I think it's very happy that you come to the retreat, okay? But still, by practicing this here now, you are actually almost like acting like you are, but in the original language in Buddhism mean called a Brahma Vihara, Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means you're walking as like the religious person or something like that. Maybe literally, in Indian language, maybe you can literally translate as like you walk like the God-like life. You live like a God-like life. With that, so there were a few things what you have to do, like what like Yao. So you have to try to also, in order to let your practice become better, or this so-called Brahmacharya become better, or so-called this practice become better. You still have to develop this generosity, okay? Because only when you develop a generosity, you're able to discuss your chaga, mean your stinginess. Because the stinginess including is not just a material, your heart, And this is a very subtle thing, but the more you will know that. Your heart actually is so stingy. You don't want to share the thing to people. You don't want to, give the benefit to other people. Or those are that you need to practice. And second, you need to always perform your duty. So if you're mother duty, you have to perform your mother duty. If you're father duty, you have to perform your father duty. Whatever duty you have to perform your duty. Like we are the monk, we have to perform our monk duty. In other words, like I'm an abbot, unfortunately, very unfortunate. So I had to perform. I'm not joking. So I really think it's unfortunate, but I had to perform this duty. Do you think I like it? No, I don't have any duty, basically. But it's impossible in the world, okay? So this is actually mentioned in Buddhist text. First, learn how to be generous. And the second, also, because that's help you to put your heart not to be so hard. Always be, at least, because when you're generous, you always be considerate, right? Become that. And also, it's good for your marriage. I told that already last time. So when you be a generous person, it's also that enough for you to be reborn in the heavens, even though it's not up to your control. But this one in meditation is up to your control because you can change the karma, okay? And the second, I say that you have to perform your duty. And the third one, try to observe the 5 precepts, okay? Even though whether you're Buddhist or not Buddhist, but try to remember, I'm going to mention that tomorrow morning again, about the 5 precepts. And then also try to practice this forcible abiding all the time, because that's how you make yourself beautiful and make the other people beautiful, right? So, and then number 5 also, don't be too become, in English it's called leeches. No, it means some people always thinking about sex, anyway. Lecherous, yeah. Not try to be restrain yourself, not always thinking about sex, okay? So, This is according to Buddhist practice. But he didn't ask you to stop, okay? So, and then also you must be also learn to be content with your partner, okay? I'm talking with the Buddhist text, it's not my invention, okay? The Buddhist, and then you have to learn to be content with your partners. It's very important because I think that not only because about the honesty, it's not about just the, what they call chastity, honesty, but it's also about patience, you know. Because to be contented to just your partner is not, it requires great patience, right? Okay. And the number 7, of course, you have to be always remember not to be too lazy. Your mind still always had to be diligent, right? So remember that. And the number 8, I just mentioned already, many days, every morning. So if you have the time to remind yourself at least once in a month, or twice in a month, or twice in a month, or 4 in a month if you're not. So do Uposatha. Remember? Try to observe the 8 precepts and do your practice. Recollect the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, and your virtue, your generosity, and then one more is the heavens, right? And then practice your meditation technique. Yeah, try to fix one day. That's for you, yourself. Okay, that's good for you practice and for your afterlife too. You know all this about the afterlife too. And the number 9, and then if you have time, you know, try to understand the proper teachings that maybe give you good advice for your practice and the way to look at the world. Okay, right. And then, so in other words, mean that including that you should, you know, develop your samadhi, your concentration, and also develop your insight meditation. Okay, your insight. So that is a perfect way for your practice. If you can observe this way, I just mentioned, remember? So all this, you definitely, your practice is very, very well. Okay, and you would never fall back from your practice. Okay, understand that now? So that's my last advice, I guess. And then and the last thing I want to express is it's very nice to see you here. And I don't want to mention it now. It's too many one to say. Let's just cut it short. It's nice to see you here. Yeah, I think maybe what I want to say is the last to see you. Nice to see you here because I'm very happy that you know who you are. Okay, that's it. Well, thank you. Thanks. Okay, so.